Episode 1 of Somali to Mori no Kami-sama has just been aired, and when I saw the trailer and heard of its release, I was really excited. As I've mentioned time and time again, I'm an addict when it comes to discovering new worlds that push my imagination as far as it can. And Somali to Mori is just that. I believe that this series has three main driving points: the story, the characters, and the art. Out of these three, the one that stood out to me the most was the art. The art is unbelievable. If you're like me, it would suck you in and make you completely invested in the world. The amount of details involved to not only make the world beautiful, but the creatures and beings that reside in it had me questioning, what the fuck was I doing with my life? I mean, just look at some of these scenes. It's amazing. And so after eagerly waiting for the anime to come out, perhaps my expectations were too high. I'm going to first talk about some things the anime did differently from the manga and give my thoughts on what this could mean for the future. Doing some side-by-side comparisons, we have Golem not being popular and causing a crowd to form within a restaurant. We have the exposition dump happening from the waiter. They end up staying at an inn. He finds Somali through observation and analysis, which doesn't explain where Somali would go, but just that he would go somewhere. And finally, the scene of Somali longing to hold hands. There are a few more scenes as well, but these are what caught my attention the first watch through. So who cares, right? It makes no difference. Well, I can't really agree. For me, I have to say that two of these scenes were fairly important. One good and one bad. Starting with the bad one, it's the choice to make Golem not bring in a group of people into the restaurant. But what exactly would it do to have Golem be a unique species drawing in crowds? Well, I believe that it makes for better storytelling and development. A lot of interactions were missed and replaced because of this decision. Instead of the waiter giving the exposition, in the manga, it had a lot of customers talking about whether or not they have seen humans recently. From this exchange, we get to see how they think about humans and what could have happened to them. We get little tidbits and interesting topics that make us want to know more and therefore continue reading, getting us hooked. Where are the humans? What are human hunts? Should I be concerned that these beasts eat humans? That humans were used as pets? Why are things at peace without humans? All these questions start forming, and since Somali is just a child and Golem has only known things inside his forest, they learn along with us. But by forcing this exposition on us with this eye-rolling moment, it took me out of it. But of course, that's just from a reader's perspective. Those that know nothing of the story may find it helpful. It's just that I personally enjoyed pondering all these questions and figuring it out through well-timed exposition and explanations. Aside from that, I know this is really small, but for me, it changed my perspective. There's an exchange where Golem is offered a free drink because, thanks to him, the restaurant was able to bring in a lot of customers. It showed me that these beasts have appreciation, that they express what we commonly know as human emotion. And I keep calling them beasts because of moments like this. They're sophisticated, intelligent, and emotionally driven. They don't seem to be what I would consider as monsters. Moving on to the good change, I believe it's the scene where they show Somali looking at the relationship that these beasts have between parent and child, holding hands. We know that as Golem is apparently incapable of showing emotions, his moment of where he himself offers his hand to be held, albeit for different reasons, is a huge moment. But being able to see Somali also long for it made the moment feel even bigger to me. I can't seem to really express it well, but I know the change made me enjoy it more. Perhaps if someone agrees with me, they understand how I feel. The problem I had with this episode and why it makes me a bit worried in the future was the time and effort spent on really bringing out the world they live in. The story is wholesome and dives deep into human behavior and mindset. It explores the strange feelings that Golem feels towards wanting to protect Somali and shows that the skepticism and fear that humans have towards unknown things are non-existent in Somali at all. But what makes it stand above the rest is the art. Now, watching this ep for the third time, I can say that, yeah, I did overreact a bit from when I first saw it. However, I still don't think I was wrong. It's clear now that the focus is more on the characters, the other species, and beasts more so than on the background. I understand that characters should always stand out more so than the background. However, the point of this scene was to show off the area they're in. I would have liked to see a bit more effort in trying to replicate the detail that the manga provided. So I can't say that things were spectacularly drawn. However, I understand that in order to do so, it would cost more time and money. In the end, I was just disappointed. It's less of the studio's fault and more of mine. I wanted to explore the world that captivated me at first glance and see it when there's life. Hearing the sounds of a bustling city and being able to see all the different creatures moving about their day. I wanted to get that feeling of being swept away from reality and being thrown into this world by amazing art. And even though I didn't feel that, I'm hoping some of you did. Somali to Mori no Kami-sama has an amazingly rich story. It's within a world where your imagination can go wild and you get to explore it along with Somali and Golem. I'll be continuing to watch this anime and hopefully be able to overlook the artistic style they chose and just be able to love the story, or at least their interpretation of it. Let me know what your first impressions of the anime are, whether you liked it or you didn't, or even want to know more. I'd be happy to reply back. For those that are manga readers, let me know what you thought as well. Maybe you had similar feelings as me, or maybe you didn't. Regardless, I hope that you all share this series with everyone. I think the story is amazing and it really makes you start thinking about the author's perspective on humans. I've read a lot of people comment on how it's a typical depiction of humans in a fantasy world, but I think it's a lot deeper than that. Maybe I'll talk about it someday. Anyways, thanks for watching and I hope to see you all soon.